Hey, I'm Scott Woodward. I'm two-time Moscone Cup MVP, and you're watching Railbirds TV.
Well, hello everyone. This is Railbirds TV, and I'm Jeremy Jones, coming to you with a 2020 Derby City Classic one-pocket match. It's the sixth round between Roberto Gomez and Josh Lewis. Looks to be two good lags here. Josh with one loss and Roberto undefeated. Josh is going to win the lag. You can see Roberto with 5 wins, and you would say he was the favorite in all 5, but still, this race to 3, hard to win 5 in a row. Josh Lewis with some nice wins in a third round. Omar Al Shaheen. A loss to Justin Hall, nothing to shake your head out there, but don't know a ton about Josh. I think I played him here one year. It may have been a mini tournament or the main. Seen him here at the Derby many times. Diamond Beards, main sponsor here at the Derby City Classic. And Beard Shopping Network. Looking for anything particular. Please like and subscribe. Railbirds TV. Josh having a little trouble racking the balls, and had the Banks division before the one pocket, so these tables are nice and broke in, even though I'm sure they're all brand new tables to start the tournament. Now Josh, a right-hander who's breaking to the lower left on your screen, which is pretty standard if the table plays pretty equal and you kind of break the same to both pockets, which is kind of rare, actually. Usually tend to break them a little better to one side or another. That's a pretty good break, though. He's got to be real careful here. He's maybe got a feather stripe and guide the cue ball towards the 2. It's touchy, though. Gets up at all, leaves some type of an aggressive shot on the 14, is it? Could get behind the 2, but then he really takes a chance on scratching, I think. So, yeah, see how high the 14 got, and that's going to cause some problems for Roberto, most likely anyways. And really, with the ball so close to the hole already, I mean, it sounds funny that maybe you just guide that over, but do you get the cue ball high enough to really protect the 2 as well? This is where actually, I don't know, could be crazy, but maybe banking the 14 back into the stack and drawing the cue ball one row up to the side, the long cushion on the right. Side cushion may be the safer shot. Maybe this twist right in with a little pop, but you hate to mishit it. I guess maybe if you just avoid the 10, hard to miss the bank. You want to go ahead and put some speed on this and kind of draw the ball at the table. Looks like he's leveling out and just kind of rolling it towards his pocket. It's not going to get the cue ball very high that way. And he caught the 10, and now he's going to sell out a cut shot on the 10. Roberto probably not going to waste much time going straight up and down the table. He may spin his ball behind the stack. Looks like he can go straight up and down for position on the 7. And it's going to get maybe a little straight. We'll see how fast the table's playing. Yeah, and this is where kind of put yourself in a you must shoot situation, probably just going forward with the cue ball, trying to get on a bank. Because really, that's the safest shot. There's not really much of a play that you can clear his hole and get the cue ball tucked away, so. Yeah, and he's kind of sitting a little funny on the 2. Looks like it stiffs right in, and if it does, you may just have to commit to making it and knowing you're selling out the 11, but you're getting position on the 14. I think if you try to hold it for the for the 11, it gets a little more missable that way. Okay, he went into the 11, so he could cut it a lot. Okay, so he's got to be real careful here. I may come backwards with the cue ball a little bit. I may take a chance moving the 11 and the 1 here if I feel comfortable cueing. Now he's looking at something else, I think. Yeah, I like trying to squeeze both these balls away here and coming back to the end rail. Maybe not. It's close. The 1 was up just a little bit where I knew the 1 was going to my side, and the 11 was most likely also. I think it's worth a chance. Either that or lay on the 11 maybe, just lightly, but good player's probably going to roll the cue ball out in a bad position for you, so probably just maybe draw off the 14. The 14, and yeah, that's a nice shot. A nice shot. Keeping the 1 there is somewhat of a bank, kind of blocking the banks. I know the 1 does bank itself, but pretty smart shot. Just going to say, wow, how good he hit this shot. And that's where whenever your opponent doesn't have a ball on his side, like Roberto doesn't, even though he has a 3-0 lead, really emphasize the cue ball there being froze to that rail, just because you don't want him being able to do something with some speed, meaning be able to move balls or really cue the cue ball to where he can move balls and get something on his side aggressively. If he has to just roll the ball here on this shot, well, you probably have a lot of options coming up. And okay, that got away from him. He was giving up a bank on the 11 anyways, so maybe that's a 13 just above the spot. I don't think he was too worried about the 13. He expected to hit it well enough to get the 1 coming across. Maybe that 6 ball that went up table, maybe it goes into the stack a little bit as well. Josh now with the prime opportunity. He has 2 near the top of the spot that both go, I believe, the 8 and the 7. Take much time, so. Thought he got real nice on the balls to break open the pack. That's going to be a little bit light unless the 7 goes easily. Oh, and it does. Going to hit the 8 thin, and that's why I'm kind of curious he passed on the last, leaving the last ball. He shot off the 13 there. Playing from where he was at a moment ago, it seemed a little better, but that was a nice control there. Definitely got a shot on the 3. Doesn't look like he opens the pack really. He probably draws back for the 8 and then banks the 4. Okay, he's gotten a little thin here. So now going forward with the cue ball, you could get in a funny spot. Drawing, of course, you could too. You go lightly here, or you move the entire rack over, trying to move something back like the 3. Oh, he missed it. He's going to get a friendly kiss almost. I believe, yes, Roberto's definitely got a cut on the 4. The 8 kind of covers up the scratch, so that's nice. He can kind of go at the 8 a little bit, or sometimes you do that, you get dead over the 8. But that's a nice one knowing he can't scratch cross side. Is he spinning this with a lot of spin going past the 8? Pretty perfect. 3 to choose from. Cueing is a little funny. It looks like he's just knocking off the 14 and drawing back for the 13 or the... Oh, my. You could tell he just wasn't comfortable and consequently cost him and kind of got a quick stroke at it and missed the ball. Josh is in a good spot here. I'm not sure the 14 goes, but he can lay on the rail for the 3 and draw back or move the cue ball. He definitely didn't want to get here with the bridge. Definitely wants to get out here as well. Looks like he's fairly straight. If he could cue it without the bridge, he could probably move it to the rail, no problem. I'd like to at least get a nice cross corner bank on the 14 or a long railer on the 8. Oh, okay, he could go that way with it. And there's that 14 he got. He can go up table with a cue ball, give him a little cover. Speed's important, though. Doesn't want to give Roberto like a bank on the 8 where he could drop on another bank on the 14. All right, well, he's applied some pressure to Roberto, and Roberto doesn't necessarily have to bank at this, shoot at this 8. He can move the 14 away, but I tell you, he's going to give up a long railer most likely. A funny shot. You don't want to really shoot the 8 and try and drop below the 14. That's like the perfect shot. But if you don't get there, your opponent's going to kick that 14 in on you. A lot of times, you could even get to the side rail where the 14 is not cuttable. But a lot of players will take on that kick shot on the out ball. You could double bank the 8, maybe. I mean, and draw your ball. I like him just shooting and going 3 rails back where he's at now with inside English. I think, anyways. Just shoot at it. Nice inside. You got plenty of angle. Move the cue ball back where it's at now, like that. Now he can think about probably moving the 14 a couple rails and doing the same thing with the cue ball again. Let the cue ball come a couple rails to where it's at now, a little deeper, so you don't give up the 11. I think shooting at the 11 ball is really, really probably going to give up the game unless you make it. Again, you're going to give up a kick shot. He's trying to kill it coming across, I guess. Really good hit. Really good speed, too, which was very required. That's a big ball, that 14 on the bottom rail to be banking the 11 at. And now all you can do here is try and kick it out, I believe, and get it on his side. Roberto's not going to shoot at the 6. Oh, he can come across it. This could really turn out nice. Watch the 6, snooker, Roberto. No. It's gotten funny. Now a real nice soft kick shot on the 14 would be okay. Could play more aggressive somehow off the 6, I guess, maybe. Putting it on the spot and spinning over. That's a dangerous shot. I don't like that, really. Eesh. Kick shot's hard to predict. Don't make it very often either. Just trying to move it over. I think the cue ball is going to come up, though. That 6 looks awfully close to the rail. I mean, meaning if he stops right there or keeps it on the end rail, he's going to sell out a cut. The 6 isn't going to go very far like that. Yeah. Just a little deep. You had to have enough confidence just to maybe put the 6 where it's at now with a high ball. Just creep the cue ball over into that corner. Touchy shot that really doesn't do a whole lot for you, but just got to cut the 11 at the 14 here, I believe. I mean, he could cut the 14. He's at the table. That type of shot, hard to predict how tough it is. Yeah, I don't like him messing with the 6, though. Yeah, I just like him cutting I think he's getting ahead of himself a little bit here. It's easier to sell out something there, and I know it's a little cleaner pocket, but maybe I'm crazy. Maybe he's coming 2 rails right behind the 11 with the cue ball, but doesn't want to get wedged up after this shot. He hit it pretty well, though. Now Roberto's got a choice. Tough one. You shoot the 11 knowing you're going into the 14 and the 6 possibly. Making one for yourself and making the out ball for your opponent, Josh. Tell you, if he really thought he could lay the cue ball down, moving the 6 out and going to the rail and killing the cue ball behind the 14 isn't bad. Plays for it. Okay, he's moving it and just softly bumping the 6 up like that. That's not bad. Not bad. I think Josh should just come across the 11, taking the cue ball up to the middle of the end rail. Just let the 11 come over. Maybe it gets in front of the 6, in front of the 14, makes things a little funny. Banking at this is asking a lot. Hit it pretty well, though, I'll tell you that. Really nice. Roberto's just got really a soft kick on the 11. I may try and come in behind it lightly and just go the rail and kind of lay on the 11 as well. Looks like you can do that fairly accurately. I mean, just shave the backside of it a little bit. 10th of the ball or something. Don't let him see the 14. Not a big deal if he does, but yeah, I like that. I think if I'm Josh, I just clip off the 6, covering the ball up here, covering the 11 up and going a little thicker though, possibly. Gonna be able to shoot through the 6, I believe here. Get a ball on his side, possibly snooker him on it. Looks like he maybe removing 2 balls instead. Playing it light. That's a dangerous shot. Shooting a long riller. Like Roberto can just remove this 11. If he can snooker him on that ball, that'd be nice. Still did decent. Not easy for him to come backwards off the 11 with a lot of control, so maybe he has to move the 14. Okay, he went ahead and moved the 11. This is where you just got to find that funny place on the end rail for the bank on the 11, where it's just not really any good for Josh coming up behind you. I think unless you feel like you can shoot at the 14, possibility. But even with a high ball, just ignore where the 14's going. Hit it thick, go the rail, and come probably about maybe where Roberto's left hand is now, right there on that first diamond. Something like that, where he can't quite cross it, can't hold it. The 14 is going to get in a decent position, most likely. It usually does. Just hit it nice and thick, let it hit right before the 6. Go the rail with a high ball and down to that first diamond on the bottom of your screen on the short rail. And you could drop him down below and let him bank at something, but I usually like to find that spot that's pretty funny for a few reasons. He can do it with draw too, I guess, and double bank the 14 wherever it goes, but I think he can hit this with a high ball. 14 just kind of one rail towards that upper corner. That's why he just looked at that spot, placed his hand. That's what you got to do playing this game a lot of times. Just find that spot. You don't want to be fighting back in these games and just, lose track of the cue ball for one shot, and the guy just makes not a simple bank, but a very makeable bank. Want him to earn it. And right there, it looked like the funny spot to me. He's going to ticky it maybe. I like going through with the high. Yeah, like that. And see how the 14, it usually gets in a fairly good spot. Not saying he can't bank the 14, but he's letting the cue ball pretty loose. And it's not an easy safety from here. Chop the 14 to your side, but yeah, this doesn't really bank so easy. He could scratch here. He could have a lot of problems. Now, he just played it down here, so Josh is a pretty smart player. But you can see now Roberto, one good shot from here, lay the cue ball in the end rail, get the 11 up by the 14. He can get in position to steal this game. And he was worried about the 6, so he wanted the 6 to be the C. But what happens is when you let it loose like that, don't even worry about the 6. If the guy makes the 6 from froze off the end rail, let him have it. But now you give him a shot on the 11 where he's got some cover. He's just got to make a natural hit. Much better to let the ball, don't worry about the 6 ball at all, and just let the cue ball lay on the end rail. And that happens a lot of times where trying to do a lot, worrying about one little ball. And I understand the thought process, but it's just experience, I think. But Josh didn't have to hit it like that either, so a great shot by Josh Lewis to win game 1. It's a round 6 match here from the 2020 Derby City Classic 1 pocket division. Roberto undefeated through the first 5 rounds. Josh Lewis, you can see he suffered 1 loss to Justin Hall, I believe it was. But played great, and he played great there in game 1. Okay, pretty aggressive swing at the break there, and Roberto's done pretty well. That's a funny shot as well. Been easy here. As he thinks he can move them both and stun forward. Not bad, but really got to look to protect that cue ball the first shot or two, especially when things are a little unpredictable. Like right there, he couldn't really, he was trying to make it obviously, so it wasn't far off. But when it is little off, you give up shots when the cue ball's not secure. So that first shot or two after the break, you really want to know for sure, unless something's just sitting absolutely too good to pass up. Yeah, he should ignore things here, I think. I think he can even hit it with a right spin here and go into the rail and into the 11 maybe. Or is that the 13? That's the 13 by the side, excuse me. Oh, he went by it. Watch out, cue ball. That's going to hurt. And he hit it sweet too, but don't think he wanted to go into the 11 one rail. You could see a scratch there off the 11, very possible. I think he thought he was just ignoring the 11 and going straight by it, or maybe getting into that second rail. Not sure, but big shot at it. It's only game 2, but it's only a race to 3 as well, so don't really see much as far as position. Maybe the 1 ball goes. If the 1 ball goes, he may be able to break some balls out. If the 8 hits the good side of the 3, the 8 goes into the 3, it opens the 6 and the 10. Man, I'm not sure it does. I'm not sure how the 8's pointed exactly, but 1's playable. Looks to me he's going to play position on the 1. I think I would too. Even if he has to hit it with a high ball, he goes down the side of the rack that should open a lot. Yeah, that's a little thin, but not taking much time here. It's close. Definitely giving up a 9-ball long railer. Looks to be sitting pretty perfect too. And he's not really giving up much for banks. Not sure about much for position besides a thin cut on the 7 maybe. Maybe a 3-12 combination. Or 5-12 combination, excuse me. This sits pretty. He'll be aggressive here. Got into the stack, so kind of good thing that went. Roberto inspecting a multi-ball combo maybe. I think he can cut the 5 onto the 12 and play the cue ball back across maybe. It's close. He's got to be worried about the 1 ball. He could play maybe the 1 off the 11, kill the cue ball on the stack, but I think he may give up a shot on the 7, so I think the 3-12 is what you're going to see, or the 5-12, excuse me, is what you're going to see him shoot. Quite possibly not. Maybe the 15 has him where he can't shoot the 5-12. Okay, he's looking at it now. I think that's the shot. Very makeable for Roberto. 5 might, offer him some type of position. Maybe a thin cut on that 7 as well. Should kill this with a bit of inside or be aggressive going above the side pocket. We'll see. Okay, he went ahead and tried to make it. He did. Treacherous shot on the 5 here, though, so most likely not that cut. I think he just cuts the way the 5's sitting, it's not really bankable for Josh from up table. So maybe just cut the 7 over, play the cue ball all the way up in the middle of the end rail, something like that. I mean, you could play it behind the stack, but I think that's a little more dangerous. I'm not worried about the 1 too much from the end rail. Cut it with inside and kind of come up where you're at now. I think down 1-0. He's got to play real safe here, Roberto does. And I think running the cue ball is a little more safe. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I think Josh will open the 11 on his side a little bit. Ooh, he's got to worry about this ball maybe. You could hear Roberto asking if the ball being spotted was straight. Trying to make sure it's frozen. I think Josh was maybe inspecting the 11 ball there. 10-11 somehow, but definitely shooting on the 9, I would think. This may bank. Real close. If it doesn't, I don't think he would shoot it at his hole, really. Can't get the cue ball safe. But if it goes, yeah. Well, nice shot. Really perfect speed to be able to bank the 7 next. Really nice to where he maybe gets on another bank on the... I wouldn't go that far forward with the cue ball. He's going to inspect now. What am I getting next? And I'll tell you, if that's the deal, I might just kind of look at the other bank instead of the 7. Maybe pinch the cue ball on the 2 there. I don't think the 7 would be cuttable from that position. So he's got to stun this forward a little bit. Like he's hit it pretty well. He's going to give up a little bit of a bank. I'll tell you, I like the way the 11's sitting. I'd bank this back on the 11 myself, I think. Okay, nice shot. Didn't realize the top of that ball was available. Looks like he's cutting the 11. Does the 1 open anything up and the cue ball come up? He's going to have to put some speed on it. Not a great deal, but to get the cue ball up table, it looks like. I'm surprised Roberto didn't shoot at that one a little bit more. I mean, I know it was a little thinner cut going backwards, but I liked his chances of making it, that's for sure. And I just kind of felt like he was going to be a little more aggressive with it. But it is a race to 3, so you could see what kind of control he's keeping there. But he's got an opponent here in Josh Lewis that's, of course, an underdog, but not backing down. And I, kind of feel like Josh moves pretty decent, pretty good. It's like to me. Is he going to kick the 5 out here? Now that got ahead of himself a little bit there. He's been just kind of making his moves and doing pretty well. And I could see the shot, and it's kind of a shot when it's needed a little more than just when it kind of is out there. Now Roberto's got a 10 ball, it looks like, that is open at the bottom of the stack that is going to offer a huge reward if he can bury this the 7 ball here. Excuse me, that was the 15, and he's gotten pretty perfect on the 10. It could use a little thinner, really move the entire rack doing that, but he still should get plenty. And watch out, 2 ball. Come too much, it's real close. 1 went in the side. So now Roberto needs 3 to tie our match at 1 game apiece. And I think he just plays for the bank on the 5, shoots the 3, the 2, and then tries to end the game with the 5, I think anyways. Could try to move the cue ball up table and could bust some balls out, but I think great as he banks, I mean, even if you're giving up the cue ball down table a little bit, although your opponent could get some from here, I guess. Still come across to where it's a nice heavy bank like that. 1's going to come on the spot. No worries here except for the 5 ball, really. Nothing's going to bank. The cue ball should come up to where the 6 doesn't bank either. Doesn't matter. Roberto's burying that one to tie our match at 1 game apiece. It'll be Josh's break in game 3. A nice hit there. It sounded like really nice with the cue ball. It's, besides being on the rail, I was taught that between that middle and 3rd diamond there on the rails, kind of the preferred spot. Of course, it kind of all depends how the balls lay out. We're just talking percentages, but now he's not taking much time trying to edge this 10. Did pretty well. Yeah, I think Josh's best defense here is maybe up table. Maybe come across the 8, banking the 8 back over, going all the way up to the middle of the end rail, something like that. Something real simple. He could try to go the other side of the stack protecting, but he's got to be careful there. Played it back across hard. So he saw something that obviously wasn't executed. Josh, like I said, seemed like a pretty smart player. So again, when the balls are favoring you already, you can keep it pretty simple. Kind of force your opponent to do some things to get out of it more than you continue to try and do it. Take advantage of what that break is. He laid down a pretty nice break, so give it a shot or 2 maybe. Oh, he really opened up the end rail there. That was surprising to me. thought he was going to cross that over and go back up the side rail maybe or something like that, but I didn't think he would give up the end rail here, that being Roberto. Yeah, he's giving up the 3. Wow, what a great shot. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Roberto can cut him, that's for sure. He can really spin him. I think this will be more of a level cut, not so much right English. That's a great camera angle. You can see that's definitely cuttable. And he gained some position on the 10. It may be a little bit of a funny angle to where he can't get up table so easy, and he can't draw back without possibly hitting the 14 or the 15, excuse me. And the 3 isn't so bankable either, so may see him stun this a bit. No, he's elevating. So he's trying to come back, maybe squeeze between the 6 and the 14. Yeah, like that. Or the 7 and the 14. Oh, it's going to hurt. I think you just level out and come up into the 11 now. This time, you could get behind the 8, but maybe you can just come up into the 8 with a little inside. Just lightly, though. That's a great shot. Roberto, last year or so, he's 2 years maybe now, year and a half, 2 years, he's been playing a lot of one pocket. Resides in Houston, Texas now, which is definitely a one pocket city and a great one. Don't think he's going to get all the way out. Of course, yeah, he still needs 4. Could try to come across, I guess, and squeeze and maybe hit that 4 ball. Yeah, it's a bad hit here. It could get, okay. You can see the 5 or, yeah, that's pretty fortunate. They're a little maybe unfortunate he didn't get by it, but contacting the 6 and still, not trapping himself. That's important. Very sure of what you're doing here as well. Don't want to catch a double kiss. Get in there deep on this ball with some draw. Hit it nice. Josh is still in a good position, though. Especially with the 9 and the 8 doubled up the way they are. Bank the 6 straight back down between the 2 and the 14, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if this is necessary. This is a pretty... Oh, he's going up with high English and trying to make it. So, nothing wrong with this, actually. He hit it pretty sweet. Oh, wow. Pretty unfortunate to go right through the 8 and scratch. Don't believe the 2 ball passes the 9, possibly. Otherwise, he'll definitely shoot the 9, though, I think. No reason not to pick that one off if you're Roberto. Now, the 2's funny. I wouldn't shoot the 2 with some kind of funny bridge or anything like that. Just go ahead and bury the 9, that's for sure. And one thing, if I could cue the 2 very well and get it pretty straight in, but I don't think any reason to flirt here with trying to dig that ball out of Josh's pocket either. Just because, again, tournament format, this is a race to 3 and it's 1-1. Huge moment. Okay. Now, the one thing, he did it with some nice control, but even at that nice control speed, if he gets a hair more underneath there, he scratches, I think. So, and that's the other thing about it. To hit it how you want, you're kind of probably just kicking it away from the pocket. So why not just make that ball and then shoot the ball away maybe? I don't know. I understand his thought behind it as well, though. And I think with the ball on his side right there, it's worth moving some balls right there. Take a chance. They might get in a funny spot where Josh can send something out of his pocket, but one thing Roberto did know is the 4 wasn't being moved. It's actually not bad. Left him a little flat and funny on the 4. Roberto may be able to elevate and stiff the 14 ball in, maybe. Otherwise, he's just got to follow off a ball. looks like he may be banking the 4. Risky shot. He's giving up a cross corner on the 4 ball. Now this is when I think Josh is just pacing the hole and holding nice position on at least the 5 ball near the side pocket here. Wouldn't put myself up in the corner trying to think I might miss it. He held pretty decent position on the 14. Roberto not taking much time. I don't think he can get right at the 4. Yeah, just use the 14 to make the 4. Did real nice with the cue ball. Like Josh is maybe banking the 14. Okay. Got him elevated on the 14. Roberto's not shooting that one, I wouldn't think. Not sure the 5 passes the 14. Can't see the 4. Not sure what he's looking at. Double banking the. Is he playing the 5 off the 4? That's probably going to hit the low rail if he draws his cue ball. Oh no, he hit it great. What a shot. He kind of stunned it back, so it ricocheted nice. One heck of a shot by Roberto Gomez. So after losing game 1, Roberto Gomez has come back with 2 in a row and now on the hill and breaking in game number 4. This is Railbirds TV and I'm Jeremy Jones. It's a 2020 Derby City 1 pocket match. Round number 6. Josh Lewis has a loss, so fighting for his 1 pocket tournament life. Roberto undefeated coming into this match. I think Roberto referring to game 1. Still in a good spot now. Played pretty great. And so Josh has played really well also. I think just, like I said, I got ahead of himself a couple times. Like just maybe use how the balls are laying for you a little more and keep it a little more simple. It's hard though, whenever you feel like one's laying good, it's laying well. Roberto's broke to the lower right pocket. What's going to be now both times here in this match, and has had that pocket every game since Josh has broke to the lower left. You could hear that nice click between the cue ball and the top 2 balls on the rack there. Sure what. Looking at swinging the 2 ball into the back of the 11 and the cue ball up table, or maybe the cue ball just into the stack, maybe? Wouldn't be bad. Right into the 6. Yeah, like that. Oh, he played for the bank. I thought he was going to play it into the 11. So he's going to give up a shot here to start game number 4. And a good one for Roberto. Roberto can shoot left-handed, or maybe more behind his back, but he's going to use the bridge here. I may go ahead and come all the way up, I think. I think getting thin on the 13 is more of a problem. Come all the way up, maybe you get on the 12. Yeah, like that. Be aggressive with it. Want to make sure you're not getting jacked up on anything. Should be able to get at least 4 more, I would think. May not get the 5th one from here, but that would give him 4 more would give him 5, so 12 and 13 after that. He can reach that. He's got to use the bridge again. Just got to use your talent a little bit here. You could zigzag the cue ball or go 3 rails, but I mean, just drop for the 2 and use the 2 to get up on. Then you go 3 rails for the 14. This is going to drop a little straight, maybe slow Roberto down at least a little bit. I'll tell you though, the way the stack's sitting, I wouldn't doubt Roberto being aggressive going rail first here, trying to hit this long rail at the bottom of your screen and spin up for the 9, I think, maybe. Surveying the stack a little bit, seeing what he can do drawing the cue ball back. Really has all the shots though, Roberto. He's going to 2 rail the 3. Smarter than the rest of us. He's worried about the 4 popping out a little bit. So take no chances. And Josh really hasn't been in this position too much. Dig on the cue ball a little bit. Didn't get a rail. So did okay overall though. Roberto's got to be careful. Surveying the 10, how that kisses off the 4. And I think he just hits this lightly. He could draw off of the 4 like that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Like he's eyeing up this 3 ball up table. Tell you what, if he could roll it, it wouldn't be horrible. Felt like he could really hover it over the pocket. He's got a 14 ball he may get a free look at from, if he can bury that 3 ball. Like it better than the 4 ball, I think. Just playing safe, just a little ticky. Watch out with the open cue ball, though. It's going to hurt here. I'm pretty sure Roberto is going to bank at this 1 ball. Think. Oh, wow. He didn't. Roberto playing it very careful here. And it did look like possibly you had to turn the cue ball loose a little bit off the 6 ball if you banked at the 1. Gonna move 2 balls here at least. You notice when he does that, when he goes into that second ball, he's not doing it a lot of speed. Make sure he keeps control. Gotta watch out here. Oh. Roberto almost has a free bank, doesn't he, here on the 15? Can he go to the rail and hit the 3 with the cue ball? The 4 doesn't cut because it's a scratch. Yeah, if I'm Josh, I look around here, maybe do something else besides this if it doesn't sit well. 7 really isn't very shootable from a lot of places for Roberto. Not sure that I wouldn't say this isn't the shot, but I'd definitely look around. Definitely make a difference here. Is he drawing out of this, trying to get shape? Nothing wrong with that now. Wants that to... No, that's okay going in. Yeah, if this banks, he can be a little aggressive, especially with that ball on the bottom rail. Not saying he won't give up a bank combination. But it's better than giving up a clean bank. Wouldn't try to hold the ball too much unless it was really sitting nice to do so. I'd like to have this ball over the pocket, in the pocket. He held it quite a bit. Almost got a really nice kiss on the 5 ball. Ball's going to come on the spot. 2 balls, actually. So he had actually a real free roll at it. I believe Roberto's just removing the 10, holding the cue ball. No, he's coming off them balls now. You got to be real careful with that too. When you don't have balls on your side already, could give something up. And this is where maybe Josh should look at using the 9 and the 6, banking the 1 straight back in between the 3 and the 9. 1 rail, letting cue ball go to the side rail in the middle, the end rail. I don't think anything plays from there. This isn't bad either. Oh, he's going behind him. I thought he was going up table off that ball. And if you're not leaving shots, it's very difficult to continually defend from the end rail, especially when the balls lay against you like they do here for Roberto. Well, I thought maybe Josh could take advantage of that, and that kind of, takes away the better player a little bit more than Roberto is, I think, also. Kind of equals it a little bit more if you continue to put him up table, and a lot of pressure on him. Again, come across this 15 ball here and bank it across to your side and put him up table on the end rail. The 9-6, again, dude, they don't play, so this isn't bad either. Is he banking this kind of at the 10? No, he's kicking it maybe. He's going to give up a bank maybe. Huh? Roberto can move 2 at a time here as well. Cut the bottom of the 10 with a little draw, go right into the face of the 14 ball and move both those balls to your side. Up table, maybe into the 1 or something like that. If you're looking at banking this is dangerous. Oh, he just kicked it out of there. Again, the balls are completely doubled up. I'd use the 1 again, I think. Bank the 1 between the 3 and the 9, go 1 rail to the middle of the end rail. That's not bad. May have given up the 6 this time just because he didn't quite get there, but I kind of like the shot, moving both balls and knowing the cue ball is going to go up table. But it puts a lot of pressure on Roberto's. Doesn't make things so simple. Now, he's a great shooter and he can cue the ball, so he's going to feel like that's his escape, and it probably is. Still, it is a missable shot. And maybe it's not even shootable. Now he's in a touchy spot. Shooting off the 5 here, going forward with the cue ball. Pretty good effort. He kept the ball on his side, but I think you're going to see Josh shoot at it. He isn't passed on many of these types of cross corners and doesn't have many other options as far as offensively, I mean. He's banked really well. Looks like just a high ball. Maybe comes 2 rails to get on the 2. I think just 1. Or is he drawing towards the 10? Just a high ball like that, 2 rails. 14 gonna get him. It is. I'll tell you, he's gonna have a bit of a touchy shot here, reaching this ball. one heck of a shot. Roberto most likely will shoot this away. Most of the banks are covered up. Really, the one doesn't twist. The 4 doesn't play. I think he's okay to shoot this ball away, not really having too many worries. He could take his time and just ticky it again. Yeah, either way, he's kind of shoot away from it, mass it back. Ooh. Ooh. It's much closer than I thought, and also Roberto, and I'm sure Josh as well. I wonder if Roberto makes the 4 and comes down and puts him on the 8. I wonder if that's okay at all. He's just going to come back with the cue ball. Nothing wrong with that at all. Kind of opening up that bank alley, though. He doesn't like to get something on his side for sure. Not sure if he makes this 2 ball. Of course, he gives up a cross corner on the 3, I guess. But so nothing too great here. Pretty smart shot there. Other ball's going to spot. Roberto's just going to draw back off the 4. Oh, that might have got away from him. It did. Josh has produced a shot here now. He's down 5-0 here in game 4 and down 2-1. I think he has enough angle to maybe go to the rail and get back behind the 9. I think. Got to hit it with a little bit of speed. Don't think he can pinch it. Maybe he can draw it back and hit the 8, something like that. Produce a shot some kind of way on the 1 or the 6. But first things first, got to bury this one. It stood up on him. I don't think Roberto probably wants to try and trade the 9 for the 3 here. He could easily give up 2. Probably just gives up the 3 ball. No? I think being jacked up, he just gives up the 3. Looking at the 9 here. Don't think it scratches. I think it gets into the 1 ball maybe or something like that. Huh? Giving up an 8-1 combination that Roberto will certainly shoot at, I think. Looks like he was. Plans are to draw back for position on the 6. Want to give up a cut on the 6 here. Yeah, that's. Oh, the 8 got right in the way. So pretty sweet there. He was possibly going to give up a shot. Now he's made things very difficult for Josh. Not only to move the 1, but not give up a shot on the 10. You clipping the 2 ball here? It's going to give up a shot. Maybe not. Great shot there. So Josh Lewis fighting here in game number 4. Roberto, it looks like he can bank the tube down a little bit, towards the middle of the end rail near the 10 and let the cue ball just go one rail into the back of the 15 and kind of lay on that end rail. That'd be a nice spot to leave it. See what he looks like. He might put one on the spot. Nothing wrong with that too, with a 5-1 lead, really. Doesn't really have to produce a more trapping position like the shot I was talking about. That's probably a better shot here from Roberto. Nice. Oh, wow. They've gotten away with this a little bit. The 10's going to come out. Now the 2's going to bank. That's going to be a problem. But Roberto's kind of got to go, keep control of the speed here on this 2 ball, especially he gets this ball to the end rail. May not even be banking the 2. I don't know, but I think he is. There's a lot of long rail banks, a 2-railer maybe on the 6. He's got to be real careful here. That's why you saw him stop it. Almost got a friendly kiss right off the 10, but now you see he's giving up a cross corner, and this doesn't have to be hit very hard to be made off the bottom of the 1 or right into the 1. Watch out, scratch off the 8. Okay. This is the 2-rail kick on the 1 here, I believe. Looks like just play it. It's really the 2 ball there. Looks like it's all right to me. The 2-rail kick on the 1. It's touchy, of course, but just lay on the 1 ball, but you're giving up a lot there. Just kicking 1 rail, laying on it, giving up a long railer that could hurt. I like that shot there, and you could be aggressive with the cue ball. Coming back up the table. Like he's banking the 9, 1 rail, crashing into the 15. Got the cue ball back through the 15. And that's one heck of a shot by Josh Lewis. Making things very difficult for Roberto. Knocked the 15 on his side there as well. Almost has to kick bank this ball, maybe. Maybe tuck the cue ball in behind the 9 softly, maybe. Well, he's jacked up, though, so he's going to shoot the 10. This is actually probably the best shot. It's in a bad spot. If he wasn't jacked up, he'd probably deal with the 9. You rolling this? I think he would be rolling it. All right, so here you go for Josh Lewis. Definitely got 3 or 4 that I'd like to say he's definitely a favorite to get. And say he's a big underdog, get all 5 of these laying here. Take a little lead in game number 4. Oh, that's going to be a little flat unless he wants to cut the 9. Which becomes a much more missable shot. He's not taking any time. Little bit elevated. Kind of a downward top English kind of stun shot a little bit here. Oh, he hit it great. Gonna get any reward? Maybe the 1. No, the 1 doesn't bank. Combination bank, it looks like, but the 2's not really going anywhere, so maybe got to think twice about this one. Yeah, to make the bank on the 1, the 2's not going anywhere, so you got to try to cut it to create a little bit of movement on the 2, and I guess a little more movement on the cue ball. Shot like that, if you're going to go ahead and play it, just play that speed to where the 1 hovers over the pocket. At least you're putting a lot of pressure on Roberto. Here now, if he gets the cue ball just kind of out a little bit from the 8, he's not really giving up much. Even if he does miss the 2, now he's not going to miss the 2. That's why he played that type of position. So just a little follow shot on the 8 to get on the 1. To advance to round 7 undefeated. Josh Lewis, you could see he had some nice wins, and last ball is going to be conceded. Well, Roberto Gomez again going on to round 7, undefeated. Josh Lewis eliminated, but made the money. And good shooting, Josh. Thanks, everyone. For Railbirds TV, I'm Jeremy Jones, and good night.